Hello and welcome along to another episode of Crypto Live. It's me, your host for today, Jimbo, and you are tuning back into the Crypto Knowledge Alliance. It'd be excellent if you guys are here and tuning in. If you could drop us a little message there in the chat room, let me know you're here, say hello. If you've got any charting requests or any news stories or anything of that nature, crypto related, that you want to take a look at, just pop them down there in the chat room and I will get to them in due course. If someone else could just do me the favor of letting me know in the chat room if you guys can hear me properly. Not 100% sure yet that the sound's coming through. Hopefully we're not having any issues there. Just 1 second. I'll tell you what, I'll just check on my phone. Just bear with me. Yes. Okay, so sound appears to be working well. So I'm just going to crack on straight away, guys. So let's start with taking a look here at the Bitcoin 1 hour chart. And as we were looking at in the last video, let's hone in on the range that we were looking at. During the last video, we were watching this tightening range develop here on the 1 hour chart. And we were saying that we were expecting a breakout from this triangle, and we would test the upper resistance line, and if we broke that, then we would see even further gains. As you can see, it played out pretty much exactly as anticipated during that video. We broke outside of the triangle, and we tested the upper resistance line, came back down and used the previous resistance as support, and then broke out further. Bitcoin currently at 13,000 $369, which is absolutely excellent. Marks almost a 14% gain on the day, and you have to say that is very, very bullish and great momentum. Great for all of the portfolios likewise. 4 hour chart still looking extremely healthy. Plenty of green candles in a row there once we broke out of this range. Now I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to delete these lines because we've used them. That range is out of play now. Played out pretty much as we expected, so we can move on. Okay, so let's overlay our TDI and see if we can see. So we've got our lagging 50 well above our static 50, and our RSI and our moving average are still well in the bull zone, so that's very positive. We are currently seeing a little bit of a rejection wick on this current 4 hour candle, but we're only an hour and 4 minutes in, guys. Sorry, bear with me. We're only an hour and 4 minutes in, so it's really early. This could go either way. Keep an eye on this candle, could be a key one. We are peaked higher on the RSI and the moving average than we have done in these previous two movements on the 4 hour chart. And as you can see, we are well up there in the bull zone. So although this momentum could continue, you would have to suspect perhaps we're going to have to pause for a break, for a breather at some point. But hey, this is Bitcoin. We just can't predict it. Now, I wanted to draw your attention to something here today on the daily chart, because I've been looking back over historical data, and as I do, I've been searching for patterns. Patterns are what I look for, and I just wanted to share this interesting one for you. Doesn't that chart, just as a start, doesn't that look so pretty, seeing us closing all this gap down from we saw from the drop-off, pretty much completely destroying it in 2019. I think if you were a long-time hodler like me, you're asking the question, what bear market? Anyway, the thing I wanted to draw your attention to is the last time we passed 13,000. Sorry, more importantly, the last time we closed above 13,000. Now, as you can see here, this was back at the early December 2017. If you were in the market at this point, you'll remember the hysteria. You'll remember just how bonkers this time was. But what I wanted to really draw your attention to is the fact that it only took us, I believe it's 11 candles, after we broke 13,000 and closed above it, 11-day candles to reach our all-time high. In fact, it was on the next day. You could, all right, we did just go above it, but you can see that once we closed above 13,000, it was extremely quick for us to hit this all-time high. We went up and we tested 19,600. We dropped back down, and then we did actually just peak above that briefly. It took just under 20,000. It touched that, and then obviously we saw the reversal from there. So worth keeping an eye on Bitcoin certainly over the next few days. You'd have to think if this bullish momentum continues as it has been going, we are going to see further gains in the next couple of days, is my opinion. Obviously, as I said previously, I'd like to see this close above 13,000. If we close below, I would be taking probably some stuff, probably a bit off the table in anticipation of a pullback. But this rise has been pretty parabolic. So what's up, guys? If any of you are out there, let me know in the live chat. Oh, sorry, I've only just updated it, and I can see you guys are in. I've got Rob Fiddler in. Hi, Jim. Hi, welcome along, Rob. Mark Innes. Hey, Jimbo. Hey, Mark. You must have set that alarm. I imagine it's very early where you are, so it's great to have you tuning in. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Debbie Claydon's come in. All okay on the mic. Thank you very much, Debbie. Stephen King. Good evening, everyone. Good evening there, Stephen. Afternoon for me. I've just got back in from work and I'm just catching up with the charts, but I hope you're having a nice day and a nice evening. Man in Black, can someone unplug Bitcoin, please? Yeah. To be honest with you, Man in Black, at this stage, I think even if you were to unplug it, it just wouldn't slow down. Perpetual energy right now, right? Mike Weatherford. Hi, Jimbo. Hi there, Mike. Welcome along. Great to have you here on the channel, on the stream today. Oh, and another one, Scott Gregory, managing to catch the first 15 minutes. Oh, excellent. Great to have you along. Great to have you along there, Scott. Thank you for joining us today. I know that you said you wouldn't maybe be able to make it, so it's great to have you in. Guys, if you want to have a look at any charts or anything, although I know that the altcoins look pretty bleak against Bitcoin at the moment, but anything at all, even if it's against USD valuations, because obviously we know that, you know, the big boys, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, etc., trade against USD as well. So we can take some interest from them charts. So if you guys want to have a look at anything like that, pop it down there in the chat room, and as I can, I will get to it. Having my first sip of coffee after work, and it tastes fantastic. As does looking at my portfolio in USD value right now. Maybe not so much in Bitcoin value. Man in Black, haha, I think you're right. Yeah, like about Bitcoin, about unplugging it, right? Yeah, there's no slowing it down, my friend. No slowing it down. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining us today. If you can slap us a like in on the video and subscribe if you're not, that's going to really help me grow this channel. So thank you, and if you can do that. Okay, so next thing that I wanted to have a look at away from the charts, like I said, you know, pop bonds you want to look at in the chat, but I'm just going to jump over to something else. It is a chart, but it's a slightly different one. Now, in the title of this video, I have asked the question, will this show when alt season starts? Now, let's go and have a look and do some analysis on what I'm talking about. And to do so, we're going to need to jump over to the CoinMarketCap total market capitalization page. And here we are there at the moment. You can see our total market cap pretty much fairly follows the path of the Bitcoin price, as you would expect, knowing how dominant Bitcoin is in this market. And then obviously you can see the total market capitalization excluding Bitcoin. And again, similar pattern, but not exactly the same. We get a similar spike and we're seeing it pick back up, but it's not exactly the same. Not exactly the same chart. But the one that I really want to focus on here today is the percentage of total market capitalization dominance. Now, I was trying to find a candlestick version of this chart, and for the next video, I will have that prepared, but I couldn't today. So for now, this will do. And what I want to highlight to you is the trigger point for the last absolute insane altcoin season. Now, as you can see, we hit our peak in the total market capitalization for the altcoins here in January of 2018, quite early on, 4th of January 2018. I'm sure many of you were here in the market at that time. If you weren't, you've got all this sort of crazy hysteria to come, I'm sure. Right. Well, let's have a look and see what might have triggered that. Now, what I want to take your attention to is this area here. Now, this orange cloud that you can see, this is actually the Bitcoin dominance percentage graphed out. And here you can see some of the other currencies here with their dominance as well. But the focus for today is on this particular spike here. Now, this spike saw Bitcoin dominance, as per CoinMarketCap, reach 65%. This was very high, as you can see, you know, all the way as the altcoins have, since the development really of the mainstream altcoin market developed, 65% was pretty much a high, as you can see from, you know, June 2017, this area. As the altcoins started to raise in popularity, you can see Ethereum there. This was pretty much the high. Okay, now what happened was, this was when Bitcoin was on its absolute skyrocket run, right, up to 20,000. All people jumped out of the altcoins and they push their money into Bitcoin. I'm not just talking about retail. I'm talking about, you know, large parts of the market were selling their altcoins so that they could get into Bitcoin and catch the ride. Now, what happened was, once this had played out and the Bitcoin dominance began to drop, it fell like an absolute stone. Now, the reason that it fell at this particular time was because people took all of their profit in Bitcoin and started to see opportunities to make even further profit in the alt market. And as you can see, Bitcoin dominance fell from its high there at 65% all the way down to 34% in just a matter of a week or so, And in that period, the altcoins absolutely exploded. Let's see if we can get the 4th of June. So this is going to be the USD valuation. What I would like to see is the altcoin market against Bitcoin. But what I can tell you is this was the moment where the altcoins exploded in Bitcoin value. And that is because all the people who were in Bitcoin and had that profit moved it across to the altcoins and took even more profit. And you can see this reflected here pretty well by the Litecoin dominance chart. I think that's Litecoin. It might be more likely Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum chart here. You can see that pretty well reflected by the dominance of Ethereum that just absolutely from the high of Bitcoin here to the low absolutely jumped up. And that was because people were moving in to take profit. Now, why am I highlighting this today? Well, Bitcoin dominance right now is at 62.1%, which is the highest we have seen for a very, very long time. We briefly touched 59% back here on May the 14th, and we've come back down. We're now pushing yearly highs and highs since the last bull run. I personally will be keeping a very, very keen eye on this chart because I believe when we see the Bitcoin dominance begin to pull back, once people are happy with their profit in Bitcoins, we are going to see the alts potentially explode. And I was asked the last video by PJ, I don't think he's in today, I haven't seen any messages from him, but from PJ asked us, when are we going to start looking at the altcoins? When's time for altcoin season? Now, that was why I started examining this. I wanted to look and see if I could give some more of an answer. And I think, sorry, pardon me, I think this is a really good indicator to use, is the Bitcoin dominance and mapping it out like this. Keep a keen eye on this, guys. Who knows? We could see an alt explosion soon. I would imagine, however, that will also correspond with a pullback in Bitcoin USD value. But this market just surprises us over and over again. Let's go back to the chat room and see what's going on today. So, hey Jimbo, finally major show, jet lagged as it's 1 a.m. here in Hong Kong. Kukla, thank you very much for joining us today. It's great to have you here all the way from Honkers. Welcome along. Kukla is one of the fantastic admins in our Telegram group. And if you guys aren't already involved in that Telegram group, it's completely free to join. Come and speak about cryptocurrency with us. Very intelligent conversation in there. Very helpful people. Hugely wide set of knowledge bases. And that's what I think really gives it some true value, is the different positions that people and different perspectives that people can speak from. And it can hopefully help you open your eyes to some things that you may not have thought about, and then help you learn some more about cryptocurrency. So the link's in the description, and Kukla is one of our amazing admins. Kukla, this market is crazy. Yes, it is crazy. Man in Black, that's what I call dedication at Kukla. Yes, all tuning in at 1 a.m. from Hong Kong. Thank you very much, Kukla. That's quite dedication. In fact, all of you guys that are here, thank you very much for joining the stream today. That's amazing. And if, like I said before, if you could slap a like on the video, that's really going to help me in return. Man in Black, crazy that it's 10 a.m. yesterday for me in LA. Wow. Yeah, I've just noticed that comment there. Kukla, we truly are global. Yeah, absolutely. We the group, and it's excellent to see people all across the world. Like I said, about different perspectives of this market. I mean, literally, we are tuning in from all over the world, and that is amazing. So thank you very much, guys. Man in Black, I feel behind. Yeah, we all do. How are you ever going to catch up with Bitcoin? Do you think Ethereum will make a big move before the rest of the alts, possibly draining alts even more? You know, that's not a bad shout there, Man in Black. Let's quickly jump over to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart and just take a look. Now, obviously, we know Ethereum, I can't remember the exact figure last time I checked it, but it was above $340, I'm sure, the last time I saw it, which is seriously nice. One of the alts which is lesser impacted today by the drop in sorry, the rise in Bitcoin, because obviously we've seen a lot of the alts suffer based on that. But Ethereum really hasn't done too bad. Oh, I tell you what. I tell you what. Wow. When you look at that chart, I'm a huge fan of Ethereum. I think a majority of what they do is excellent and is a true representation of how to manage a company within the crypto sphere. I think Vitalik is an extremely intelligent young man. I think that Ethereum smart contracts will go as long as Vitalik wants. They will do everything that Vitalik wants them to do because I really do see Ethereum taking off long run. I think it could be a future monster. And when I look at this chart, I see serious, support here, double bottom support at 0.24. Now, I will be keeping an eye on Ethereum, guys, for real. I'll be keeping an eye on Ethereum because if we don't break this 0.24 area, I'll be looking to potentially buy a bounce because I do happen to believe, Man in Black, that Ethereum is going to be one of the best performers over the next 12 months. I could be wrong. Sorry, I have to reiterate, make my point a bit clearer than that. I'm not talking about the whole cryptocurrency market because obviously something that's got a market cap of 1 million has a lot, it's going to go up as a multiplier more than Ethereum could because of its market capitalization size. You understand that simple maths, right? But as a project, as for meeting milestones, as for outperforming the other large altcoins, I really think Ethereum is going to have a fantastic year. And seeing it approach this, what could potentially be confirmed as a triple bottom at this stage, well, that would be exciting. But I wouldn't be entering until I've seen how it plays out against 2-4. But Man in Black, back to your question, yes, I think that could potentially happen. But what you need to remember is actually it doesn't drain the alts. It doesn't always drain the alts that high because, and I don't remember, if you remember from the previous alt run, when Ethereum pumps, obviously it increases the value of. It tends. This is tends to increase the value of all the projects on the ERC20 blockchain, and we saw that on the Ethereum blockchain. We saw that last time where ERC20 coins were just pumping like crazy. So if Ethereum pumped, I think that more likely would be the trigger. Litecoin and Ethereum, I think they could be the triggers rather than drain. But I do personally think there are quite a lot of projects that aren't going to pump this time, and if we get another alt season, when we get another alt season. The reason I say that is because I actually think that the average retail crypto investor is more wise to, the shitcoins. Excuse my language. I don't like to swear on the stream, but that's what we call them. That's a name for them. That's what they are. So, yeah. I think that the average retail investor is more aware of what shitcoins are, and I think we know now for the certain things that we're looking for. Who knows? I could be completely proven wrong by that. We'll have to wait out and see what happens during the next alt season. Who knows? You could still have Trump coin pumping 1000x. Who knows? Let's wait and see. But certainly Ethereum against Bitcoin potentially with a nice bounce could be a buy. Tim Gash, hey Jimbo, the Bitcoin pump is amazing. Welcome along, Tim. Great to have you here. Yes, the Bitcoin pump is truly amazing. Just noticed there that Ethereum's passed 350 there on BitMEX against the perpetual swap. Very, very nice. Look at that, how that played out. It's all right. These previous patterns drawn out from when we were doing previous TA, but there are formations you learn to look for. There's things that you learn to spot, and when they play out as perfectly this, it's almost like vindication. Hear a lot of people say, and this is something that a lot of YouTubers say. I'm not putting down anyone's approach in any way because I think everyone does things in their own way. But I often hear people say, if TA's got no value or whatever, not in this market. Well, I personally disagree. Everyone has their own approach, but when you look at things like that and you see that Ethereum broke out of this pattern so predictably, this speaks for itself, in my opinion. Be interesting just one moment. Sorry to do this right now. Should have really had this prepared, but I'm going to measure this breakout target because I don't think we can be a great deal away from the top of that breakout target. Oh, it's moving my scale. I can't do it right now, unfortunately. That's frustrating. I've got to sort my lines out. I've got something not right there with with them at the moment on TradingView. But yes, sorry, back to the case. Yes, I think this could be a very interesting time for Ethereum, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see this push up to $400 pretty soon, depending on when Bitcoin tops. Mike Witherford, I hope I've said that wrong. Apologies if I haven't. Where do you think Link will be in 6 months? That is a super interesting question. Great question. Thank you very much, Mike. So Chainlink is, when in my personal opinion, one of the most interesting altcoins on the market at the moment. I think that, again, that cup and handle formation that took us 72% gains, and even if you'd have been looking to buy back in on the break of this, I mean, you would have made even more. Excellent, great performer, based on the TA Chainlink. I watched that develop all through those months of last year. I was super bullish on that cup and handle formation. Anyway, where do I see it being in 6 months? Well, let's start with, do you know what? Let's delete all of those now. They've served their purpose. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the pattern that we're in at the moment. Obviously, the one-day chart TA isn't going to give us a great indication of where it's going to be in 6 months, but I always do it for pure, for my own pure interest. So it looks like we're in a rising, broadening wedge. Break down from this would be pretty detrimental at this stage, but based on the bullishness of the fundamentals, I would say that we're probably going to likely to continue to see Chainlink hold very well. I know it's 5% down against Bitcoin today, but let's be honest, the majority of the tokens are considerably more down. Like even MCO there, Crypto.com is down 22%. You're talking about a project that released their own, that sent out their debit cards yesterday. So, you know, some of these big projects have completely been wrecked, and Chainlink isn't holding up too bad. In regards to the 6 month picture, I would not like to put. Let's have a look at what the price is against USD, and then I would not like to ever say I think it's going to be X amount of dollars. What I wouldn't mind doing is suggesting a range that I feel comfortable at, and potentially we'll even go for a rank, a market cap rank. Look at that run, absolutely huge, absolutely against USD. Obviously, that's driven by the Bitcoin run as well. So it depends. The truth is, against USD value, it very much depends on the Bitcoin price. So we're going to stick to, first of all, we'll say Bitcoin valuation. I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen. I wouldn't be surprised to see this somewhere near 0.0006. So that represents about a 3x against Bitcoin from now. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. And although that sounds a bit pulled from air, and it is, I'm making that analysis in my mind based on the partnerships that they have, their professionalism of the outfit, and the potential news to come. I think we're going to see this start to climb the rank against Bitcoin. And that 3x would have us at $6, about $6-7. Sorry, about $6 or $7, depending on the Bitcoin price. But based on the fact that I think Bitcoin's probably going to be considerably higher than it is at the moment, potentially, you know, it's so hard to tell right now, isn't it? But let's say that in 6 months we have a $30,000 Bitcoin. Now, that's a conservative figure based on the run we're looking at the moment, but I'm saying that because not all runs like this are going to be parabolic, and certainly within 6 months we will have seen retracement of some sort. So just for sheer example here, we say we've got a $30,000 Bitcoin. That's just over 2x from now, so this would put us at about 460, and then I've said a 3x, so 12, 13, 6 months from now could very easily be a $12 to $13 coin. Again, you know, don't quote me on that and say, oh, well, you told us it was going to be a $12 or $13 coin. Just giving you a guesstimate based on the data that I have available to me. That's the best we can do, right? We find the patterns in data, and we do our analysis on the data that's presented. But I would say certainly 6 months over $10 coin if the market plays out nicely. Kukla, XRP. I'll jump into XRP. Let's go back to the charts. I just see a comment there from Man in Black saying linked to be on Coinbase Pro, and I do think I read that earlier as well. It wouldn't surprise me at all based on the partnerships that they've got. You have to remember that the strongest projects are the ones with the strongest fundamentals and the best team, and Link are proving it every step of the way so far that they look to be ticking those boxes. So certainly an interesting project to keep an eye on. I do hold some. So, of course, that's a biased opinion. I'm always going to tell you guys if I hold something as well. Because so if I'm giving it a bullish review, I'm going to tell you that I hold it. Link I hold. Okay, so take my opinion with a pinch of salt. Do your own research. Do everything. All the normal stuff. You've always got to do your own research. Trading cryptocurrencies is speculative. I'm in no shape or form way a legal, financial, or tax advisor. So don't take anything I say as that sort of advice. Trading cryptocurrencies is speculative and dangerous. We know it's speculative because it's jumped up 12% today. That's the clearest indication of speculation, something like that. So, take it with a pinch of salt, do your own research, and let's conquer this market, right? So XRP Bitcoin. Now, I had this line in place. I was pretty much had this in line to watch this happen. Basically, for XRP to recover against Bitcoin, it's going to take some serious support, which just put in another horizontal. You could have that support. You could just about give it some hope against Bitcoin by using. Where did I place that? Sorry, I've just moved the wrong line. That's supposed to be at 4,000. This is the line. Yeah, so we place it at the resistance that was found here. But yeah, and then we use this same line as support on this formation. So you can see we've got resistance there, support here, which led to our run up. Now, you could just about say at the moment it's above that line, and it is, but it really needs to recover today, because much lower beyond this line, and we're going to be testing. I mean, there's not a lot of support until you get down to the 2,700 range, 2,700 range. And that's a long way down. I mean, XRP has seen some really damaging performance at the moment. That wasn't interesting, and I'm just spitballing here, completely spitballing. Do not take this as me calling this out as a bit of technical analysis. But again, as I said before, we just look for patterns. We think just draw things out as you spot them. If you see clear horizontal support and resistance, put it in. If you see triangles develop, draw them in. I do a lot of data analysis for my job. So I'm used to trying to spot these patterns and identify things I see. I appreciate that that's not everyone's going to be like that. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of advice, really. If you see anything that looks, oh, well, that looks more than a coincidence, when it comes to the charts, it probably is. Yeah, I just wonder if we might see. I just wonder if we might see this bounce. No, okay. I wonder if we'll see this bounce in a position that will give this the chance to break out as a falling wedge. That's what I'm getting at here. That's what the lines have just drawn on there. Because there's no clear indication of this just yet. Don't take, I'm not saying that. At best, you could put it at the resistance of that spike to the support of the drop. But that's not, that's nothing. This line is obviously a lot more set in stone. You've got a lot more touches against this resistance, so this one is the more important one. But I wonder if we see this bounce, when we see this finally bounce, maybe put yourself in a support line, see where do you think it's going to play out. It could even just be a descending triangle there playing off against this support line. So if we bounce today, who knows? We could be seeing a descending triangle play out, and if that was to break out of this descending triangle, it would be a mammoth run. This is a lot of data we're looking at. This is 24th of December 2017 to now, so you're talking about a huge amount of data. So if that was to break out from a descending triangle, expect fireworks. But TDI is showing weak. That's for sure. Really weak. Price action is looking weak. I don't hold XRP. Not at the moment. I have no concern. I have no personal bias against trading it. Don't. I think it's going to do really well. I think XRP Ripple will do really well because it's just set up for that to be the case. Certainly, the not acquisition, but joint partnership agreement with MoneyGram and things like that. They're putting themselves in a position to succeed. I just personally, one of the things that really drew me to cryptocurrency in the first place, and certainly helped to bridge me to stop trading the FX and stuff like that, was when I started learning about the fundamentals of how Bitcoin works, and that led me to learn more about fractional reserve banking. And as I did learn more and more of these things, I just really like the way that Bitcoin solves or attempts to solve some of the problems where Ripple just doesn't do this quite the same. Doesn't do quite the same thing, but it certainly is going to help bring adoption, and bringing these big companies and the banks, etc., involved and making them part of a payment network. It can't be bad for the space. I just don't. It's just not the ethos of crypto that I first, dived in on. Put it this way: all currency is digital currency now. We talk. Some people say that the difference between Bitcoin and euro or dollar or pound or yen or whatever you want is that Bitcoin's a digital currency. That is just simply not true. All currency, not all, but the majority of large fiat currencies are digital currencies now. They're all on a screen. It's moving zeros from here to there, right? So they are already digital currencies. The thing that separates Bitcoin is the ability to remove the intermediary, remove the third party, remove the person who has to okay the transactions, etc. XRP, although it's very good, it's still got the intermediary. You've still got a middleman. I know that that's not quite how XRP transfers work, but they are going to be an intermediary of some sort because of the dominance that they have with the Ripple ownership. So it just, that's my opinion. You guys are all inclined to have your own. I'm not a huge XRP fan. However, I'm not suggesting for a second that it's a bad hold, and I'm not even saying to you that I won't buy some if I see the TA play out the right way. Because as you guys know on the channel, especially if you're in the group, I'm all about TA. I love hearing news stories. I love finding scoops and rumors, but I'm all about the TA, man. That's where my ball, my ball's in. Rambling a bit, sorry. PJ, what's up, Jimbo? When a retrace takes place, where do you envision we'll drop to? Welcome along, PJ. Great to have you in the stream today. I hope you happened to catch the bit earlier regarding altcoin season, because that excellent question you'd asked me in the last stream regarding when will altcoin season start. I looked into that into a little bit more detail over the last day or so, because I wanted to see if I could present you with a bit of a better answer. So if you missed that, when the stream's finished, go back to the beginning and start again, maybe speed it up to 1.5x, and you'll find that I did answer that based on the Bitcoin dominance and how I think that could show us where that's going to go. Let's go back over to BTC USD and see if we can't work out where a retracement may take us. Now, of course, guys, things like retracements are live. They are live, right? So we can only... So, for example... Okay. So a Fibonacci retracement tool is an excellent way to try and find areas of support. Not support and resistance, but retracement areas. It's really useful for that. I hear my dog barking in the background. Apologies for that. A little tip it into me, guys. I, along with some family members, helped to train dogs for the deaf and blind, which is super cool. I can't say that I do the majority of the training personally, but I am involved and I really enjoy it. It's really rewarding. But that'll be why the dog's barking. But anyway, a good way to find a retracement point is to overlay a Fibonacci retracement tool from top to bottom, bottom to top, and you get these zones created. Now, you'll be looking at putting these support lines in. So we've got one there at 12.2, one there at 11.2, 10.50, 10.500, sorry, and 9.8. So you could pick any of these really and put a horizontal line in there. What you've got to remember is the only support that we've got to act on is our previous the top retracement from the previous top, because there's no huge levels of support and resistance here. The lines I would put in certainly would be this one here. I think that would be interesting zone at 11,500. You can see that acted as resistance for a while here, resistance again here, and support for some period before we drop down. So I would keep an eye on that zone there at 11,500. But at the moment, I'm not seeing any evidence to suggest just yet that we're going to see that retracement just yet today. So we'll have to put the Fibonacci in place once we do see the top found. I have seen a couple of guys out there today on crypto Twitter claiming that they think the top's already in, but it's same people who. And listen, I'm not trying to be different to all other crypto YouTubers, because everyone, the people, they're successful. Everyone has their own approach. But listen, don't make a prediction and delete it. Don't stick by what you say. Do you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, some of these people that claim that Bitcoin might have topped, are the same people that said it was going to drop to 1, who said this, that, and the other. Go with the charts. If it turns, it turns. Then you're reactive. But yeah, so I would certainly be looking, if we were to listen, PJ. I think we will see a top at the same level here on the TDI, which is the 84-hour moving average. So I would keep an eye on that zone. If we top out there again, that's going to be in the next day or two worth of candlesticks. So this is the daily chart. But I think we're going to push up. I still think we're going to push up higher, mate. At this point, we are at a significant resistance zone. That is the truth. That is worth bearing into account. We've reached this area of significant resistance, and we're pretty much bang on it. All right, okay. So a little bit more. I would want to see us. I said earlier on in the stream, I'd want to see us close above 13,000. I would like to really see us close above 13,500. If we close above 13,500, I think that would be a super bullish indication, because if we closed above this line here, I know this line's a little bit lower than 13.5, but 13.5 would be a nice area for me to see it close above. I think we'd see a continuation of the uptrend. We could see a rejection from here based on the fact that we've got that support line there. And then, like I said, I think the only place that's really showing me any significance is here in the 11,000. 11,900-ish zone. It could be a little bit lower, but somewhere like that. So that would be an important. These are the two important lines for me to watch at the moment, based on what I can see on the chart. Again, of course, guys, it's just my opinion. I could be wrong. It does play. I like looking at this stuff. I like spotting this stuff. I like seeing if we can find patterns together. And I really like engaging with you guys on these videos. So thank you very much for the question, PJ. I hope that goes some way to giving you an indication. But do remember that even in the last bull run, I mean, something that hasn't really happened so significantly this time are these big pullbacks. These big pullbacks just haven't really occurred, and that's basically because we're so early on. It's because we're talking about getting up to the new all-time high that it just seems like we must be almost at the top. But we're talking about quite an early stage of potential, of the bull market. And in fact, some people even claim that we haven't even confirmed that we're out of the bear market just yet. So it's early days, and during a bull market, we can see retracements of 35% plus. So, just keep an eye on it. Be reactive to the charts. Stay tuned in here. We're going to keep up to date with it. I'm going to be coming live 2 or 3 times a week. I'm going to try and get a nice schedule out. Keep it at 6 o'clock for now. I'm going to have a feel of how that is for people's timings, and then we can always perhaps push it later if it's going to be working better for people. Mike, thanks, Jimbo. Great channel. Oh, I really appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much for the feedback there, mate. I'm glad to have you on board. If you haven't already, click subscribe and press the bell notification button. And then when we go live next time, in case you miss it on Telegram, we'll get a ping. Man in Black, XRP may be the most polarizing crypto. You are either XRP or you aren't. I'm not either. Yeah, like I said, Man in Black, I agree with you. It is truly polarizing, and like you said, completely north and south. You either are XRP army or you're not. I'd like to say that I'm somewhere in the middle, really, because like I said, I'm not for the ethos. And I think that's what you're trying to say. It's the ethos that you don't agree with. But dude, I'm about making profit. That's what I'm in this for, right? I wanted to make some profit. So if I'm going to see an opportunity to make some profit off XRP, I'm not going to turn my nose up at it just because it's XRP, right? Debbie Claydon. Jim, do you use the Renko charts? Any views on them as a tool? I've just got my pro account. Okay, right. So I can only. So first of all, let's overlay the Renkos. I use the Renkos. This is not my main TradingView account. I do have another TradingView account, and on that I'm pro, and I can use these on lower time frames. But I do use them. So here are the Renko charts on the daily, guys. If you don't know what the Renko charts are, these are based on price change over a period, and it cuts out a lot of the noise. You're not seeing time play out here. You're just seeing price play out. It's an unusual chart. But basically, as you can see, you're going to be looking for green boxes, red boxes, and faded of the same colors. And basically what this is, so for example, this is great to look at today, actually. Great. Thank you very much for pointing this out, Debbie. This is really good for today's stream. As you can see, we've got these three sort of faded green boxes. Now, the reason that is because Bitcoin has jumped up 14% in the last 14% in the last day. And basically, these are showing you that this is unconfirmed Renko boxes. So what they are is it's saying that the price has increased by these three increments, right? But it hasn't closed up that high yet. Once it closes on the daily cap, because we're on the daily, once it closes on the daily, these three green boxes are going to go solid green like the rest. People use these Renko charts to find exit points, and I do personally as well. And I've got to tell you, I think they're an absolutely fantastic tool. Debbie, if you've got Pro, I completely suggest learning more about the Renko charts. You can find loads of stuff on YouTube. Investopedia's got some excellent data on there as well. I really recommend looking into it further. You can actually see that the sharpness of our incline on the Renko is seemingly reducing here at the moment, but I wouldn't take too much from that just yet, just because of the insanity of the market right now. I'll be honest with you, this TDI, except for the fact that the lagging 50 is under the static 50, would be a very bullish indication. But I've got to be 100% honest with you. I don't know if you can actually use the TDI and something like this in conjunction. I would suggest probably not, because of the fact that it doesn't take time into account as we would expect. But yeah, maybe what I'll do, Debbie, perhaps I'll make some more content in regards to the Renko chart. Let's make a pre-recorded video that explains it a little bit. I'll be able to pop that up on Howdo, pop it up on YouTube, and hopefully that'll be useful for you guys. I'm sure you won't regret getting your pro account though. Rob Fiddler, are you a fan of Neo / Ontology? Firstly, let me just say, Ontology, yes, big fan, really like Ontology. Yeah, just yes. I think that they're going to be one of the ones that we can count on sticking around, in my personal opinion. Against Ethereum, Bitcoin down 10% on the day. Again, that's just the altcoin market. The altcoins are getting absolutely smashed at the moment, aren't they? But I think Ontology will be here for a long time. I think that it's a potentially a very good hold, and at 89% down from its all-time high, you've got plenty of room for growth. In regards to Neo, I am a big fan of Neo. I had really high hopes for Neo. I traded Neo very successfully during the last bull market, but I have some concerns, and I got to be honest with you. I've got to do more reading to determine the severity of these concerns. But I would first of all draw your attention to Red Pulse Phoenix. Now, you don't know who Red Pulse Phoenix are. They were the very first token to be issued on the Net10 on the Neo blockchain. Now, we obviously know that Neo is a very China-based project. We know that there's lots of ties there. It's people even refer to it as a Chinese Ethereum. Hate it when people do stuff like that. I don't know you guys. Anyway, the Chinese Ethereum. Now, Red Pulse Phoenix were the first coin to be issued on the NetTep standard, and very recently, as of about a month, 6 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, I can't remember the exact date, Red Pulse Phoenix was announced to integrate onto the BNB chain, onto the Binance blockchain. Now, that raises some red flags for me for Neo because Red Pulse Phoenix are a Chinese analytical firm. Why would a Chinese analytical firm be coming off Neo and going over to Binance? It either raises a red flag for Red Pulse Phoenix for me, or it raises a red flag for Neo. Because if Red Pulse Phoenix is a very above board project, then you would think that it would be beneficial to them and Neo for them to stay on the Neo blockchain. So why did they move to Binance? Was it just pure hype? Were Red Pulse Phoenix just jumping ship to get on the Binance chain to create the PHB token? Sorry, PHB. Or did they see some real concerns with the Neo blockchain and say, this isn't going to work for us? And I'd do some digging into that if I were you, Rob Fiddler. Again, I'm not going to try and sway any investment or trade that you could make. I'm not here for that. I'm not a financial, legal, or tax advisor. And I can't, also, I don't have a crystal ball. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Ontology. Neo have been a very big fan of, have traded very successfully. But I'd just do some more digging into why some projects have left the blockchain and just see if you can find out what that is. Debbie Claydon. I've watched both of Steve's video on Renko. I'm just getting used to them to see if I can make some better trading decisions. Yeah, Debbie, the first thing I'd say to you, and I might be teaching you to suck heads here, but as a TA guy, my first step is always to backtest things. So maybe overlay a couple of charts, look at the normal price charts, look at the Renko charts, see how it would have called your entry and exit points, and backtest it a little bit first. Don't go all in and just try and use them first, because even if it is a good tool, if you get the first trade wrong, you're going to be put off by using it. So maybe backtest it a few times, see if you can find good entry and exit point signals, and then do some free trades. Just don't even actually put any money on the line or whatever. Just look at a currency, say, this is showing me a buy signal, mark the price down, say buy at this price, and then mark your exit point, see if it's successful. That's a way to backtest and to test technical analysis tools without risking too much. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm just going to slip it in there. Thank you for saying that, Debbie. Guys, if you haven't checked out CYT Crypto, that's my friend and mentor, Steve. I call him my mentor because it's very much his passion and desire for cryptocurrency and content creation that has driven me to have a crack at this myself, to be honest. Obviously, I've been doing the technical stuff and the trading stuff for a few years now. But yeah, it was really not Steve's encouragement, but Steve's passion that really drove me to jump on board and have a go at this, because his content that he creates is very good. He's live every day at 8:30 in the morning UK time. If you search for CYT Crypto, you will find him. And yeah, I think you will find his content is really, really good, really useful. And he's got, again, a really friendly Telegram group that I'm sure you'll be welcome to join. So check him out also. Men in Black. LRC either completely stopped or showed up their LRM development. Is LRC? Is that Loopring? Yeah, Loopring. I've got to say, Man in Black, I don't know exactly what it is you're talking about, but if you're talking about Loopring potentially losing value, I think we can see just how bad a state that's in. Look at that zone there at this line at 900. Hell, so long there. Best part of 2 months. So to be below that and seeing it act as a resistance for a month, I mean, that's looking pretty ugly. Some hope for it down here at 100. But that's free falling. Loopring and Loopring Neo. I'll have to have a look into that, Man in Black. Oh, here we go. Thank you very much for sharing. Loopring was going to launch our LRN token, which allow for token swaps between chains and their DEX. Kind of fell silent. Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting to do some investigation into. Maybe that's another project that's been seen something they don't like about the Neo blockchain and backed off. Thank you very much for sharing. I didn't know about that. I'll have to look into that. Rob Fiddler. Interesting viewpoint on Neo. Worth further investigation. I think I heard there were issues with Net5 compatibility and RPX. Yeah, possibly. It could be down to token compatibility, possibly. I think the Net5 is that the newest blockchain token. Sorry, is that the newest token standard on the Neo blockchain? I guess that must be right. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's certainly worth looking into. I guess I would suggest that if that be the case and it was just project specific, maybe that's less of a red flag. But also, you got to wonder why would there be an issue with compatibility, but Binance Chain can do it. Is Binance Chain that much better than Neo? I mean, if that's the case, Neo's behind. It sounds like Neo could be behind Binance, and again, worth investigation. But that's what we do this for, right? We throw ideas around and we shake them up. And you know what, Rob? Here, I don't know any more than what we've already discussed, and the same for you, Man in Black. But here's what I can do. I'm gonna go away, and before the next time we tune in for a video, I'm gonna know a little bit more. I'm going to go and do some research, and I'm going to share what I find with you guys. Valuable or invaluable, I will share it with you guys. Right then, let's just have a quick look at Bitcoin. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please slap a like on the video. That's going to help me ever so much. And subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay in the loop of when we go live. So Bitcoin back above 13,470, and my goodness, is it going. 1 hour chart, guys, looks looks good. This obviously we've seen a drop down. We're now closing the gap back up. Let's have a look on the half an hour. The new half an hour chart, 8 minutes remaining. Actually, the half an hour does look like it wants to cross back down. I have to keep an eye on this, guys. This could be a short-term top. That doesn't mean that it's going to hold out as the top, because we've got momentum on the longer time frames. Certainly got momentum on the 4 hour. Still space for growth on the 2 hour. They're getting high. And like I said, we've seen this. Look how lovely that perfect play entry bounce was there on. I was talking to you guys about the TDI on the 1 hour in the last video. I think that was here, where we broke out here, and I was talking to you about these bounces along the TDI when you get the moving average and the RSI bouncing up just above the lagging 50. It can be a really good indication for buy, as well as the positive cross, and you can see just how well these bounces are played out. I mean, this one being the most significant. Bounce off the lagging 50, pop, and look at that pop. We have bounced again, but we're bouncing from a higher zone, and you can see what's happened here. Maybe we're seeing a very similar pattern play out, where we've gone up, bounced, taken a new high, came back in and touched the lagging 50, and then pushed right into the overbought territory. But as you can see, we have already been overbought. So just keep an eye on it. Could be a local top. If I had a open leverage trade, I would be moving my stop loss incredibly tight right now to take profit. Because if you had an open leverage trade at 14.6% profit, you're in great deal of profit. I would put my stop loss here at about the 13,050 area, because or maybe I would just put it on that line there, on that resistance line that was formed by the previous, which is at 12,950. So yeah, if I had a leverage trade open, I'd probably put a stop loss about there, in the thoughts that if we drop below that, we'll see a bigger sell-off. If we stay above that, hopefully we'll see more movement. So let's put that line in place as well for the next video, so that we can remember to check that out. And I will share how it develops in the Telegram group as always. We'll keep an eye on this. Which line is going to end up being the most significant? Is the daily going to close above this line here at 13,300? Are we going to close above 13,500? Or will we have to wait and see if any of these lines work as support? We will find out as time goes on. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any more comments in the chat section there. If you've got anything else that you want us to check out, put it in there now. I'm going to close this stream up within 5 minutes, ideally. So if you've got anything, whack it in there now. Otherwise, we're not going to get to cover it today. Just quickly go and refresh Cointelegraph and see all the people hyping, because I'm sure they will be. Look at that. Bitcoin rally, 13,000. Here's a picture of a star and Bitcoin with a superhero pose on. Honestly, one of these days, guys, you're going to click on my channel and this is going to be the thumbnail image. You're going to tell, James, you sold out. That's what you're going to say. Jimbo, leave it out. Anyway, it's fine for people to get excited. It's nice, right? What we got? How blockchain improves daily healthcare routine. Global standards in response to. Yeah, again, we discussed it in the last video, didn't we, guys? Just how the big boys of the world are really twitching right now about Libra and the regulations and whatever they can do to halt the progress of Libra. And you can see that story continues to barrel on. Swiss Stock Exchange, our central bank, to issue stablecoin. No surprise at all. Huge amount of interest in cryptocurrency and blockchain there in Switzerland. Some great projects developing out of Switzerland. I'm not sure if there's a website that you can use that actually shows you the location of the cryptocurrency startup or the altcoin startup. That'd be interesting to see if we can find that and you can see which projects are there. Roxanne tries aid distribution with DAI, future use. Oh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Roxanne issued tap and pay cards loaded with $50 worth of DAI to 200 Vanuatu citizens. The user sent those payment platform. That's interesting. That's worth looking at. Make a DAI. If you guys aren't familiar with the project, I suggest going and doing some research on those guys. Very interesting project. Deutsche Bank, aggressive central banks making Bitcoin more attractive. Now I wonder what perspective they're taking there, because now here we go. So they're saying that the interest rate cut by the Fed will make cryptos more attractive as opposed to fiat, and I get exactly what they're getting at. And Bitcoin is more attractive than fiat, in my opinion, regardless of the interest rate. We don't have to worry too much about that in crypto. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, let's be honest. Deutsche Bank crashed the world economy in 2007, 2008. So do you take their analysts' opinion? This is the thing. A funny thing about the word analyst, and these guys come out and saying things. Everyone, all these news stories, all this sort of stuff, it's all opinion based. Yeah, it's nice to see central banks and Deutsche Bank and these big, well-known companies saying this, that, and the other. But just remember, everyone has an opinion, and often that opinion has an ulterior motive. Crypto platform, which is smart trading, featured to speed up process of buying and selling. Yeah, I did see this earlier as well. Mt. Gox founder knew of security risk years before the collapse. Listen, every time Bitcoin runs, there's going to be a Mt. Gox FUD story come out. I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to hit 20K so we can start seeing the China ban and stuff like that again. Bitcoin could see 2K within 2 weeks and 100K this year. Well, we've already discussed that in this stream, haven't we, guys? Saying about how the last time Bitcoin closed about over 3,500, we saw 2,000 within 11 candles. So certainly worth keeping an eye on that. And I know you guys will. And I imagine you'll probably be tuning in here to see how it develops. And we've looked at the Bitcoin dominance. Some scam about Tesco's. A normal day in crypto newsland. No, normal day in crypto newsland. One final thing I want to do before I wrap the stream up, guys, is jump over to CoinMarketCap. I'm going to probably add this to every stream session, just because I find this is something that I find really, really useful for me. Now I can't find it. This is something that I find super useful, and this is CoinMarketCap.com. If you guys haven't seen this before, basically it just shows you what's going on in the world of crypto on what date, and it has most of the top cryptocurrencies in here. And what you can do is you can go in here and you can look what's going on over the next day. So you can see that there's some interesting things happen. I'm going to look for any of the biggest pairing things. So you can see there's a hot pot challenge on Binance Dex will close. Competition for 25 million Raven to be airdropped. So we were talking about Raven Protocol before. Wonder if that will have any impact on the price of Raven Protocol. If anything, you would consider perhaps we might see it drop down once they're airdropped, because you would imagine that not all of the holders of an airdrop will want to hold it going forward. So maybe people will dump it off. Stratis asked me anything with Stratis. Kim, we're excited to host an AMA. P-Chain token swap on the PI wallet. PI? Oh, is this the Pi token that people are mining on their phones? I could be. I don't know if that's right. I'm sure someone will correct me. James, Oklahoma. He's certainly made himself a nice little community of people mining with him. Endor. Oh, this is actually today. Sorry, not tomorrow. Endor, co-founder, speaking at the Singapore Defense Technology Summit 2019. That's interesting, isn't it, guys? Let's bookmark that one for a read later. Ask me anything at crypto.com. Bitball. Digibyte being listed on ZBG, UST pairings. Waves have got a Moscow workshop. Oh, this, by the way, guys, actually, I'm glad I saw this. Guys, I think Waves is a really attractive looking, could have a really potentially good. I haven't even looked at the chart, so I'm probably going to turn this chart on. It's just going to look like all of the alts, which are just bleeding and crying, sell me, which it absolutely does. But why I have come over here, Carl? That is awful, awful. Okay, well let's not make any too bold prediction of waves with the chart looking like that. But what I would say is that I've heard some rumblings that potentially there could be some big happenings regarding blockchain in Russia over the next few weeks. And Waves has been very closely linked. So have a look at that. Could be very interesting. Red Pole Phoenix AMA today, guys. So if anyone wants to know the answer of the Neo question, maybe you can go along and do the Ask Me Anything on the Red Pulse Phoenix Ask Me Anything Telegram Ask Me Anything. So jump along and maybe I'll do that myself. Maybe I'll jump into the Telegram and see if I can ask them, why did you leave Neo? Quantum Privacy Hackathon, Weatherfire. We've seen Quantum do really well today. But you get the drift, guys, right? This is a good place to come to this is a good place to come and to determine what's going to happen over the next few days, what's going on, what might impact the price of the cryptocurrencies that you're holding. Always, always good to be in the loop. Although, like I said to you, I'm mainly TA in my entries and exits. That doesn't mean it's not good to stay very much in the loop on what's going on out there in the market, in the news, and what projects are looking to do and release, and when, and the timelines. We all read roadmaps, we all read white papers. This is like a good follow-up tool, right? See what they're doing live. Anyway, guys, I can't believe that 10 of you have made it all the way this far. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for stopping in. I'm going to end the stream here for today. Again, once more, if you can just slap a like on it, press the bell on the subscribe, that would be absolutely excellent. I think that we're going to see a really bullish couple of days. If Bitcoin does something insane, closes over 3,500, and we see even more bullish momentum tomorrow, I may go live again tomorrow. Let's see what happens in the market. If not, I will do a video on Friday. Yes, I'll try and get one done on Friday. Maybe I will make sure it's tomorrow because Friday would be less appropriate for me. But I'll let you guys know in the Telegram group, and if you're subscribed, you'll get the update anyway. Listen, guys, have an absolutely excellent evening. Thank you for being here with me for the stream. I really appreciate you stopping by and engaging with me, and have a lovely evening. Bye, guys.